Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1640 of What's She Up To Now. We're talking about picking up the tab and deliberate creation. For Supersize Your Business today, our idiom, our expression related to contribution to coincide with this year's annual BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us is the topic was deliberate creation, and pick up the tab was and is the idiom that I picked to coincide with that. And we talked about, with respect to our businesses, the importance of measurement, kind of like in negotiations, he or she who picks up the tab is actually in control of the situation, just like he or she who speaks first or gives a number first in a negotiation is at a disadvantage. Why? Because you've already shown your hand and showed people exactly what you will and will not accept by speaking first or speaking up first. It's also true in conversations. Who's ever asking questions is actually controlling the conversation. So if I'm interviewing someone, I'm controlling the conversation by the questions that I ask, and then the follow-up questions I ask based on their response to the initial questions. Works the same way in interviewing. The person in power is the person that's asking questions, picking up the tab, paying for a product or service. If we think that in our businesses, our customers aren't in control because they're the ones with the money, we are deluding ourselves, right? We can set things up the way we want because it's our business, but bottom line is, we're all in business to serve other people, just like all leaders are in business or exist to serve the people that report to them, right? Our job is to make their job easier so that we can create the results that the organization that we're involved in wants, whether it's a nonprofit, a for-profit, our business, someone else's business, etc. So pick up the tab. Great idiom and expression, and I just shared a story. My dad used to always pick up the tab, no matter what it was, no matter what it was for, and he had his own reasons for doing that. He wanted to gift and share things that he'd earned throughout his lifetime with the rest of his family. He also knew a lot about negotiation, a lot about sales, and a lot about control, and a lot about power, and he didn't do it for a power play. He did it out of love, but love is power too. So picking up the tab it's actually a relatively new idiom. It's only from 1945 that it's been used on, and it means to tabulate things, right? So we talked about what do we need to measure in our business and in our life to create what it is that we want, which is what deliberate creation is all about, right? We are creators as human beings. We are constantly creating things. We create our own lives, whether we believe it or not. We all adhere to universal laws, not, well, physical laws too, and not man-made laws, but laws. We can decide whether we're going to follow man-made laws or not, right? We can choose. Universal laws, guess what? They affect all of us, all human beings, no matter what. No matter where you're born, no matter what country you live in, no matter what you believe, universal laws impact us. We are all creators. The law of attraction works for all of us, whether we believe in it or not. The law doesn't require that you believe it in order for it to play out and actually work in your life. That's why they're called universal laws. They apply to everybody, the entire universe. So, one of those, or a subset of the law of attraction, is the law of deliberate creation. We're creating, whether we believe it or not, so we can create on purpose and deliberately and focus on what we want, or whatever we're thinking about is what's going to show up in our life. And we might not even be consciously aware of what we're thinking about, and it'll show up in our life. And I had that happen to me in 2010. I had a sudden cardiac arrest, and when I recovered from that event, which I'm one of the very lucky, very fortunate few that do survive and pretty much am unscathed due to that event. I still do pretty much everything I want, few exceptions. But very few people are fortunate to have that happen. Now, I didn't think I want a sudden cardiac arrest. I didn't want a sudden cardiac arrest. I want to die. But I was thinking that I was overwhelmed. I was in situations I didn't know how I was going to handle and what I was going to do about them and deal with them. And I was thinking about that over and over again, day in and day out for months leading up to my sudden cardiac arrest. And my subconscious reaction was to actually have a cardiac arrest and die. Luckily for me, the universe was watching out for me, and I didn't really want to die. I just wanted an excuse and a reason to 100% stop, literally dead stop, what I was doing and give myself permission to change. Because the only person that needed me to give me permission to change was me, but I didn't think that I had that freedom or that ability, even though I had it all along. So lots of lessons learned when you have a sudden cardiac arrest. Number one was you got to change dramatically what you're doing, because what you're doing in your life right now certainly isn't working. And that meant physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, it didn't matter, but with respect to relationships, contribution, and the way I was showing up in the world, that had to massively change for me to still be here talking to you. So pick up the tab, deliberate creation, contribution for the next 9 days. We're going to talk about contribution for the annual challenge, and then we're going to switch to, I cannot remember if it's, I think it's confidence dance, but it could be communication. One of those two topics we'll talk about in, geez, it's almost August, and then September, the other one. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. I'm feeling still a little under the weather, but so far I haven't coughed in this video, so I must be doing better. Let me know. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow working on my own projects, working on a new fun project, which I always love it when I have a new fun project going on. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.